Hi, this is Michael Cohen. I'm a Dallas estate and elder law attorney. My uh, partner here in crime is Don Crawford Jr. Don and I have done a radio show for many years, and so he's joined me in this podcast that we started doing recently, and so I hope you'll enjoy it. A lot of times we're talking about different celebrities. This is no exception today. It'll be just a brief conversation about Hulk Hogan and his
Mhm.
estate planning. Um, Recently, there was, as you know, Hulk Hogan passed. He had a very dysfunctional family. He had a daughter, Brooke, who um, really it was publicly known that he had some disputes with her. He had also a son, I believe his name is Nick, and he was married three times. Most recently, just relatively recently, I think last year, his third wife was Sky. They lived in Florida. He had a lot of property in Florida. He spent money pretty like water, I think. He made an awful lot in wrestling and all the different endorsements and things like that, but he wasn't didn't keep it a lot of it. It's just that the real estate he had was a good portion of his estate. His daughter asked to not be a beneficiary of his will. Um, and in fact, the recent filings show that his son Nick, I think, got a roughly a $5 million estate. But the real estate is undisclosed. We don't know if he had a trust
Mhm.
or how things go. But this it makes a difference in the state that you live, because Florida has an elective share, which means that the spouse, even if they're cut out, could get 30% of the estate. And it doesn't matter if you're in a trust or if it's going by will. Texas doesn't have anything like that. So we're fortunate in that, well, I guess it depends on if you're the spouse or not, if you're fortunate or not. So this could result in a potential, there are probably some exceptions. So for example, if you have a prenuptial agreement where you're waived your right. So did Hulk Hogan have that? I don't know.
Mhm.
We don't know. It's private. Did they have, sometimes I think with planning, and I'm not licensed in Florida, so do not come to me for Florida legal advice. But I think also sometimes if you have what's called a Q-tip trust, a lot of times people do that for protection of their family so that it could be used, the assets could be used for the benefit of the surviving spouse, but then there's protection for for your children or whoever your beneficiaries are. So and of course, when it comes to money, a lot of times people have disputes. We've been talking about this on shows from here to kingdom come, I guess, as they say. And this might be another example. Now, a lot of times people have trust to keep things outside of probate where you have privacy. Of course, with Hulk Hogan, though, he had, besides this 5 million, he still does have name, image, and likeness. And so a lot of these celebrities have that, a lot of things, a lot of earnings that could be made in the future that are not what he had at the time of death. So it could be that he has a will. Now, could Brooke, the daughter, contest the will? By the way, Brooke, anybody can test. Uh, the Brooke, by the way, did not go to that third wedding. She didn't have a great relationship. She didn't go to his funeral. Now, she said she had a private ceremony that what her dad would have wanted. But, there was it was very public that she and her dad didn't get along. She didn't like what the financial advisors were doing. She said they abused him. She even asked the financial advisor to cut her off, to make her not as a beneficiary. Well, it's not up to the financial advisor. It's not his will. It's Hulk Hogan that makes the decision. It's just
Right.
like we talked about on another show, I think, where we talked about the will contest where everybody got that one of the kids said, "Oh, I think I should get more money because I took care of mom or dad." Well, that's up to mom or dad to
Mhm.
decide that, not you.
That's right.
So you get to say whatever you want. Now, of course, if you don't say anything, then the state determines how things go.
Right.
So if you, like in Texas, for example, if you don't have a will or a trust,
Hmm.
then the state determines how things go. This is particularly important on when you have children of a different relationship, different
Hmm.
marriage. So, because the state is going to say, oh, well, we had one this last week where parent who lacks capacity now and can't sign anything new didn't have a will. He has one child. I say child, the child's 70 years old.
Hmm.
So one child, people are living longer as we keep on talking about. One child who they don't even have a relationship, and he has two pieces of real estate. And so I'm telling the surviving spouse, well, when your husband dies, if you survive him, you're going to be partners with all the children because he
Right.
didn't have a will. So
Right.
so it's either you get to decide what you want, or if you don't, the state decides for you. So
Right.
it's up to you to make your choice. Well, Hulk Hogan has done some things, but again, when it's a larger state, often there's will contest or people sue or whatever, and that's just the way it is. And now here it is; it's being brought out in public, and people want to know the of what's going on, especially with celebrities. So we're talking about them too.
Right. It's
So
sad because it's almost like you're being punished for your success, whether you like Hulk Hogan or not. It is sad, but that's the way life is, especially when you pass away. And I wonder if the son and daughter, Nick and Brooke, are friends.
I don't know. There
Do you-
may be a takedown.
Yeah, right, exactly. But
He took her to the mat. I don't know.
exactly. I said to my stepson, yesterday. He was here visiting with his two children, Lazarus and Haven. And I brought you up and I said, in wills, you not only have to designate who inherits what, but you have to make it clear who doesn't get anything because people will contest it and say they forgot.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we prefer because they'll say exactly what you just said. They may forget. So we usually say, oh, to so and so, I provide to the extent I'm not providing to them because I provide to the extent desired during lifetime, something like that. Of course, we could be, um, some people want to say negative things. I don't see any purpose of that. It didn't do any good, didn't change things, but some people feel good about that. It's your last statement after you die. And so it's whatever anybody wants. That's a good thing about it's actually better in a trust. You could really go into more detail in a trust.
Right, right.
Uh, but either way, you could do it.
You've also taught me too that when people pass away, they not only put in their account whom they don't want to give the amount to, but they make sure that everyone reads that, understands that, so that they don't sue. Because if they do sue and they are inheriting something, you also taught me that if you sue, you get nothing.
Well, you could put a certain dollar amount if you say if you there. Okay, so here's the problem. Here's the good and the bad about putting a different dollar amount. The reason for putting a dollar amount is saying, well, if I say you get $1 or $10, what do they have to lose? So they could sue. So a lot of times somebody might say, well, how much do I think it'll take for them to not sue? You can take a
Right.
gamble. So Charlie Pride said 50,000 to the child that was born outside of marriage. That wasn't enough.
Right.
It wasn't enough of an incentive for that child. So he sued to say, oh, Charlie must not have had capacity, or maybe there was undue influence by his wife. So that's what they sued about and eventually settled. Uh,
Mhm.
Now, on the other hand, if I put down a dollar amount, then let's say even if I had a trust or whatever, um, they they could sue. If I had a trust, they could ask for an accounting.
Mm.
So there's the negative. If they have something, they could ask for an accounting because they're a beneficiary.
Got
So
it.
then you have to decide what's more important.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. So
complicated.
it's not a right or wrong. You have to just make a decision what you think is best for you.
Right.
And so you just have to know what the options are, and then do what you think is best for you, just like anything in life.
And I agree with that. I really do. I also agree that every person that hears this program, this podcast, either on YouTube, watches it, or hears the audio part of it, attends your next workshop, which is coming up soon. I don't know the exact date because we don't know it at this point. It could be October 4th. It could be later than that. But regardless, you have to sign up for Michael's next workshop so you can get all of your questions answered.
Yeah, we ask people what they want to know and then we answer the questions. And we also have a presentation. But you're right, the next one is on October 4th. And if not, if you hear this after that, there'll be one at least every month.
Right.
To do that, you just call 214 720-0102. That's 214-720-0102, or sign up online at dallaselderlawyer.com. That's dallaselderlawyer.com. We hope that you enjoy these shows. If you do like it, then push the like on the YouTube. But oh, and by the way, if you do go to the free estate planning essentials workshop, we give you a 1 hour free meeting without charge and obligation. No big deal.
Alone, privately.
Alone, yeah, privately.
Mhm.
So, well, I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you listen to more podcasts or YouTubes as well.